I want to talk about, I'm sure that everyone or most people have read about the UK cheerleader. I think she was 21, um, was 38 weeks pregnant, hid her pregnancy. And then I think it was like August, the end of August, they got a call, went in, found the baby wrapped up in a blanket, in a trash can, um, and obviously was deceased.
In a hole in a log.
In a what?
Yeah. What? Well, in a blanket, in a bag, in a trash can, in a closet, in a hole in a log in the middle of the lake.
Yeah.
Do we know why? So, first off, this is very important stuff, and people should talk about this. I'm sure people are very aware of this because by the time you're watching this, it happened like a month and a half ago, almost. Yeah, about a month ago, right at a month, a little maybe a month and a week. And as I said last episode, eventually this will not happen. The things will be closer, but this is content that we've been talking about and want to talk about, stuff that interests us, which this is our show. So if it doesn't interest you, go make your own show.
Right.
That's the number one thing.
And don't mind my blanket as
Is
I
it
get
cold
cold.
where you are?
I am like an old lady. I get super hot and then I get super cold. And
And
now
like an old lady, you could probably just get rid of that like.
I am an old
That's
lady.
what your
Yeah,
daughters would
I'm a
say.
year older since the last show.
You are a year older now.
Yeah.
That is true. Happy birthday to you. Belated birthday.
Yeah, we forgot to point out that my shirt was on the last episode. If everybody goes back and watches again,
Yeah, right.
that it says I'm 49 plus, and
Plus
it's got a
one.
middle finger plus
For
one.
one. Yeah. Well, I didn't think that we needed to talk about it because we had talked about it in the test run. But yeah, you'll have to go back if you didn't see that. It's definitely an interesting shirt. Maybe I'll cut that part out for the shorts on the other, so maybe they will have seen it by now.
And I can wear that for a full year.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
true. Yeah,
and then
you can
next
wear it
year
in
I'll
another
make
show,
it,
and people know.
I'll change it to this for next year. And then it's a peace sign. So I go
No.
flipping them off to giving them a peace sign.
Yeah, or you could go to London and it would be perfect.
Oh yeah, we
talked about this in the dry run.
Yeah.
No, so okay. Have you ever watched the YouTube channel Explore with Us?
No.
So it's a very interesting. It's like
Who watches YouTube channels?
What? Yeah, right. It's not a true crime. It's more like, I don't know. It's very interesting. They're way bigger than us. They're way bigger than even my other show. It's a massive show. Explore with Us. And what they do is they get body camera footage from police events, not like the First Amendment auditor stuff, like actual like horrible events like murders and just crazy things. And they go through them and they get the police interview, they get all the police reports, if there's any kind of court documents, they get all of this. And then they've got this team of like lawyers and psychologists and body language expert and police officers and federal law enforcement officers that retired, all this, and they dissect it and they talk about it and they run it from like when the police first get called to the end of the case. And there have been a couple episodes on there where people have called because there are babies that are found in boxes out in the garage. Like the police went, there were like 7 different babies found in this garage. This guy had been in prison. He was like in prison for like 15 years. And his wife lived in the house and he gets out of prison. And when he comes home, they're divorced. It's his ex-wife now, and she's moved out and he's cleaning the house out. And he finds like these 7 babies. And the story goes and they find out that they were like all his kids. And the wife was like having them and like killing them and putting them in boxes and keeping them. And they like thought he was involved with it, but then it didn't. Like it matched up. Like some of them had happened before he went to they obviously had to have happened before he went to prison because they were his kids and she got knocked up. But then there were some that happened after he went to prison. So she was doing this with other men. And like the weekend he gets home from prison, he always thought that his wife had miscarriages, but instead she was somehow giving birth and then killing the babies or something and putting them in the garage. So he like gets home, finds out he's divorced, and all of his kids are dead in the garage. Like this dude's like messed up forever. But then there was another one where there was a college-age girl.
Messed up forever? He wasn't messed up for, I don't know, the first 6. It was the 7th one.
He didn't know that. He didn't know. No. He finds them all. He's out there and he finds a box and he calls the police and he's like, there's a baby in there. And they go in there and then they keep finding new ones. They're like, are we going to find any more? And she's like, nope, that's it. And they're like, we just found a third. And they're like, listen, lady, we just find 3 babies. Please tell us. Just tell us. And she's like, that's it. And they go in there and then they find a 4th. And they're like, dude, what's going on? And it ended up like there was like 6 or 7 babies, maybe even more than that. It was like prolific. It was wild. And then there's another one where there's a cheerleader and she has this baby. So this seems like more common than it should be. It's very strange. So what happened? I mean, you want me to read off on this story a little bit, or what you want to talk about? What do you want to do here?
I'll read off a little bit.
Okay, so taking everybody all the way back in time to September 13th, 2025, NBC News says University of Kentucky athlete is accused of hiding dead baby in closet. Now, the topics that we talk about on here are not always going to be so doom and gloom. Last week we talked about Charlie Kirk. This week we got
it seems like the way of the world that everything is gloom and doom.
It's just really bad shit going on right now in the world. So just bear with us. We're going to have some fun shows. This episode might need to be, we'll say a little bit of a trigger warning. I would say that this is not, I would say that we are like PG-13. Like it's okay for like younger kids, teenagers to watch. This is like not a kid's show, I would say. We're not we're not teaching you the alphabet or whatever.
I mean, my 8-year-old will be wanting to watch it.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, whatever. It's not regular kids. It's not for regular kids. So that's that. But I just want to give everybody a little bit of a trigger warning because we are going to be talking about dead babies and murder. So, and we're not like true crime or anything like that. So it just happens to be what it is.
Seems like we're taking that path.
Yeah, that's real strange. I hate true crime podcasts. So
that's the only podcast, that and Mafia.
That's
my God, The Mob. I love The Mob. I'm obsessed.
I don't think this was a mob hit.
Or was it?
Yeah, right. That baby owed some money. That was cold. Okay. A University of Kentucky athlete is accused of hiding a dead baby in a closet. Laken Snelling, 21, is a senior and as a member of the university's stunt team. Boy, did she pull a stunt here. A spokesperson said it's not clear how the infant died. That's really strange that they went through the autopsy and they still don't have a cause of death, which Rachel and I were talking before the show leads us both to believe, in our professional opinion, with Rachel's past life experiences and mine, would lead us to believe that the baby was so far decomposition had set in so much that they can't tell. They're going to have to wait on some testing of the tissues and things to find this.
Yeah, because I mean, from a coroner standpoint, usually, they'll look and see if the lungs have expanded, and if they've expanded, that means that baby took air, took a breath.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what those results are. So, 21-year-old University of Kentucky athlete arrested and accused of hiding her dead infant wrapped in a towel in a trash bag in a closet, concealed the recent birth, police say. University spokesperson said that Laken Ashley Snelling, a senior and member of the competitive stunt team, which is similar to competitive cheerleading, is who we're speaking about. Snelling, 21, was arrested on Sunday. Apparently have been Sunday the 7th of September. She was booked into the Fayette County Detention Center in Lexington. Police said in a statement she's been charged with abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. Snelling was released on a $100,000 bond, according to court documents. And court documents say that she was placed on house arrest in her parents' home in Jefferson City, Tennessee, roughly 200 miles from where she was arrested in Kentucky. Snelling appeared in court on Tuesday, so that would have been Tuesday the 9th.
Hmm.
She largely held her head down, didn't say much, and it's unclear right now as if she's hired her own attorney or she's being represented by a public defender. I guess we'll find that out at some point. Lexington police say that the arrest affidavit says that officers were dispatched to her residence on Wednesday, the 27th of August, because they had received a report that there was an infant dead in a closet. An infant was located wrapped in a towel inside of a black trash bag. The police said Snelling agreed to be interviewed and told officers that she had given birth and tried to conceal the evidence of the birth. Clearly. Fayette County Coroner's Office said Wednesday that the autopsy was performed. However, the findings are currently inconclusive. Extensive microscopic analysis are essential now to determine the cause and manner of death, the coroner's office said in a statement. Coroner Gary W. Ginn said the investigation is ongoing. Please keep the family and friends as well as the University of Kentucky friends in your thoughts and prayers. So that's the story. Take it away.
I mean, I think that it's when you talk about it happens more than people realize. I was thinking back. So whenever I was in high school, I was a competitive cheerleader. Please don't judge me for that. The last episode, you find out I was raised in a church, and this one, you find out I was a cheerleader. But we actually had a girl on, and I come from a very small school, 90 some people in my graduating class. And she was 8 months pregnant cheering when we found out.
That's crazy.
And, she had cheered the entire time. So you go back to like what causes everybody's like, how could they do that? And
did she not know, or did she hide it?
She admitted later that she knew. She's actually deceased now. But
Jesus,
she she died of a heart attack. It was horrible. She's actually was a great person, but she said she didn't know for a long time. And then it was kind of, I think, denial. You know what I mean? I didn't know. And then later on, it was like, okay, how did I not know? It's one of those, no, it can't be. And then so I moved out when I was super young. I moved out of my house when I was 17. And I lived with a girl, and her cousin came and stayed with us for, I don't know, a couple months. And she actually hid her entire pregnancy, hid the entire thing. Found out later on that, she was pregnant, like late in. And then my best friend she'll kill me for telling her age. She's 45.
Okay.
Is she? Yes. And she just had a baby in December and did not know she was pregnant up until she was 8 months pregnant.
Why? How? What? Why? How? Why? How?
Like with her, she was having issues. Went to the gyno. They kept dismissing it, calling it pulled muscles. They put her on birth control. They did everything that convinced her she was not pregnant. And then after so long, she was like, listen, something. And she went and, because she assumed that they were giving her a pregnancy test, I believe. The doctor didn't, the family doctor didn't. And lo and behold, she's pregnant. So.
Has she had the baby?
Yeah. Healthy.
Baby,
beautiful,
okay.
perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it happens a lot more. And, and then people are so quick to judge of, how could they do that? Now, obviously, the other three involved live births and healthy births. And, mom's still, raising the kids. They didn't give them up for adoption. Um, but in situations like this, I don't know. I mean, what's your thoughts? And then I'll tell you mine. Let's go you first.
What's my thoughts about what?
What she did.
what's my thoughts about her putting a baby inside of a blanket, inside of a trash bag, inside of a box, inside of a closet?
Yeah.
Not good. I mean, it says she tried to conceal the pregnancy. Yeah, no shit. I mean, I think obviously there's some mental health issues going on here. Okay, so I want to be clear. I'm not making light or making fun of this. Both Rachel was in EMS emergency medical services. I'm a former police officer. One of the things that has drawn us together as friendship is we have both have very dark sense of humor, specifically when dealing with horrible things, tragedy, and it's probably not the best. I mean, people would be very off put by a lot of the things that I would say or think or whatever, but it's a coping mechanism. That's how police officers and firefighters and doctors and EMS personnel and all that deal with things like this day in and day out all the time, because if you didn't, you would go crazy and it would be like 100% suicide all the time. And so it's a coping mechanism, and that's one thing I deal with things. And I'm a believer. I'm a Christian, so I have a strong belief in that. But I also just deal with things. My father's deceased, and so I kind of deal with that different ways. And I just I have a way of dealing with death and things like that. So please understand, I'm not making light of any of this. It is just what it is. If I make a joke or something, it's a coping mechanism and not me being an asshole. I am an asshole, but I don't want anything bad to happen to kids, and I don't want anyone to be hurt or whatever. And we're just kind of dark people like that. But anyways, I mean, obviously she's got mental health issues. There's something going on here. I don't know why. I've not heard anything about her, but you just hear all these things about how kids are, and a lot of girls in cheerleading in colleges today. It's like, was she a party girl? Was she not a party girl? Was the dad? Did the dad know what's going on there? But I don't know what the deal is. Like,
do you think that she deserved do you think the charges are appropriate? Do you think that they should have been
clearly?
Do you think she should be charged with murder?
Well, I don't know if she should be charged with murder. So something that a lot of people don't know is, so terminology and words matter. This is in Kentucky, Tennessee, Kentucky. It happened in Kentucky. So I'm only talking about things here in Indiana. I don't know the specific legal wranglings in Kentucky, but like in the state of Indiana, homicide is the taking of a human life. And there are times when homicide can be justified if you're home sleeping and someone breaks into your house and they've got a knife and they're coming in to do you harm and you shoot and kill that person. You've committed homicide. You're not necessarily going to go to jail for that or be charged or whatever, because that could, in that situation, it would be absolutely justified. Murder is the unlawful taking of a human life. Okay. So, they're going to have to determine through these analysis of the tissue and all of this, how the baby died. Was the baby born dead? Did something happen? They're going to have to tell me. So I can't make that determination yet. I can tell you.
Let's say that she did harm the baby and caused its death.
Okay. Yes, she should be charged with murder. No question.
Okay.
No question. If she caused the baby's death, let's say the baby was born, breathing, crying. It needed food. It needed care. And they chopped the umbilical cord and wrapped it up in the towel, put it in a trash can, in a bag, and put it in a closet. Yes. Put
What
that bitch in prison.
What happens if the baby was born
Okay.
not healthy,
Needed medical attention.
and she did not get it medical attention?
She should be in trouble for that.
Okay.
No question. Now, there's obviously mental health issues going on here. They should run her through all of that, give her have her talk to counselors, find out, it might be something like where she's mentally unstable and she couldn't do this or make the right determination. And then that can be dealt with, but that's got to be dealt with in that manner. She should still have to go through that process with her going through the, she was insane at the time or whatever the deal was. But if she murdered the baby that was healthy, and if she gave birth to a baby that needed medical attention and did not seek medical attention.
So, what do you think gets someone to that point to do that? Do you think it's mental health? Do you think, so I'll tell you kind of why I'm asking these questions. When I was at the fire department, I went to the chief and said, hey, we need a baby box.
Yep.
And he's like, this was Chief Miller, you have my blessing. I started doing some research and found out that there was actually a police officer who also was working on it. So we got together, combined efforts. We had a grant, somebody willing to pay for it. And we put it downtown. I had hoped that it would be a priority to get a second one on college campus, because people do not realize I got to meet quite a few babies. And one of them was from Muncie, was a Ball State student, we assume, well, actually, she went to the hospital. And that baby was surrendered. I actually, had been on calls where, and known of situations where mental health wise, the kids, I will not say what the end result was, whether it was suicide, attempted suicide, but a lot of times when people are in bad situations, like one girl, she couldn't go home because her family was somewhere in Asia, and she knew that they would cut her off. They would take her school away. They would do everything. And she was in a situation and didn't know what to do. I actually know Monica, who started the baby boxes. And I believe whenever we were the first one, I can't remember. I forget how many, we were a certain number. But at the time that we put the baby box in, since they had started the baby boxes, no baby in Indiana had been dumped since the point of putting baby boxes in Indiana. That's impressive. People were utilizing them, so there was no cases of dead babies dumped in a river or dumped in a pond.
I see. Yeah, you mean.
You know what I mean?
They hadn't been dumped off. They had been put in baby boxes, but none of them had just been found in a dumpster or whatever.
Right. That people were using them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we also got phone calls of, moms who one was, a mom that was ready. She was delivering or just delivered. And the support given to them of she wasn't quite sure what she was going to do yet. And so we were on the phone because she was actually near Muncie. But then she ended up driving actually to a different baby box and dropping her baby off, which good. That's a great thing. But then I look at it, so I'm like, shame on them. If they could have saved a life and, there's options and you can go deliver a baby and not be talked about, nobody know, and go about life, that's a great thing. But then from the stress aspect, UK is, when I was cheering, and this is forever ago, was known of that was the world's best. UK had the best cheerleaders in the world. So, and even the girl that hit it when we were cheering, what kind of stress are you under? Because we talked in the last episode, about how people view public figures and, you're held to an expectation. Well, when you're from a small town, everybody knows the cheerleaders. Everybody's paying attention. You worry about making your school look bad. You're making your family look bad because everybody knows, and you don't have room for, mistakes like that. And I'm not saying a baby is a mistake. I'm
No,
saying
no, no. That to
as
be
a young
seen as
person
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that you're viewing that. So it's how much pressure are these young, like this
Sure.
girl under, and then you have to look at, you mentioned that you don't know if she has a public defender or an attorney. Let's say her family does not have money. She's on a full ride scholarship for stunt, and she knows that she'll lose it all if they know she has a baby. I mean, imagine that stress. We're all so quick to judge in society, but, and I'm not saying what happened is right, but in the concealing, and this is where I think back, okay, if baby was alive, and I think there was a baby box a mile, she had a baby box close to her.
Whoa, this lady did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because even without a baby box, it's 2025. Like in the state of Indiana, you could go and surrender a baby to the hospital or to the fire department or to a
Firehouse.
police officer without any question, and there not be, now you would know, and the police officer would know you by sight, whatever. So maybe people don't want to do that. They want to do it under anonymity or whatever, and just be totally unknown, which that's what you would use the box for. But I mean, you can do it without any question. Again, I don't know if that's the case in Kentucky. I imagine I could look that up. I'm sure it is. I'd be shocked if it's not.
Well, I mean, if they have a baby box, then they have the anonymity.
Yeah, okay. So then you'd have it. Yeah. Okay. So you're saying for a fact you've read this.
In most articles I read, said I can't. It was a close distance. So
Okay.
then, you have to assume then that the baby was dead. Let's just assume it was dead.
Yeah.
Well, now you're in a whole other situation because you can't give the baby up and be protected under HIPAA type situation. I mean, yes, you have HIPAA, even but if that baby is dead, everybody has a scanner page. Everybody listens to the scanner. If you call and you say, I just delivered a baby, it's dead. Everybody's going to know who's at your house. Everybody's going to know the situation. The coroner's going to show up. There's going to be a death investigation. And this girl is now outed and loses everything. That's a hard spot to be in.
I guess that's right. But I mean, it comes back. It's funny that we talked about this last episode. It comes back to kind of that thing I always say about my dad, who said,
consequences.
You do whatever you want as long as there's consequences. I mean, I guess that's the thought, like, because here's the deal. I mean, from being EMS, if because let's say she didn't know. Okay, let's say she didn't know, because there have been stories, and sometimes these stories are just complete fabrications and they're just made up bullshit. But there have been true stories of a woman just doesn't show the way her body composition is. She's just, skin and bones, and doesn't get the baby bump, and she's sick but doesn't have bad morning sickness, and things change and nothing happens, and then one day she's using the bathroom and whop comes out a baby. That's happened before. So let's say that happened in this situation, and this girl's like, what? I didn't know. What in the hell? There's a baby down there. If the baby would have been alive and she would have been like, what is this? And she would have called for help, no one would have looked bad at her. Someone might have been like, oh, you got pregnant. That's bad. Maybe that, but chances are no one would have known. She could have given the baby up or whatever. But if the baby was dead, you call and you're like, oh my God, I just had a baby and it's dead. I need help. I just don't think that. And maybe that's naive of me, I guess, because I just wouldn't think, like, I wouldn't look bad at her and be like, you've done something horrible. I would be like, man, that's so sad. She's went through a traumatic experience.
Yeah, but imagine being on a college campus where girls are mean and it's gossip and, oh my gosh, did you hear? Did you see? And I'm not justifying what she did. I'm just saying,
I hear you.
People need to kind of look at it from a different perspective. And I'm not saying any of those things happen, but I just think we're all so quick to judge. and the pressure of being a cheerleader, a girl, an expectation, and then now you're on a college level of things. Everybody is watching, you're on national TV on a regular basis. So I don't know. I mean, it's just something else to think about that we're all quick to judge. And if that baby was born dead, I do feel a little bit bad for her. I can't imagine.
Well,
the whole part of you literally, also, younger kids don't deal well with things. Imagine giving birth and looking at your dead kid and the trauma, of just everything that goes on with that. And then what do I do? What do I do? And
abuse of a corpse. So I'm looking at, so she's charged with abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant.
Which I did not know that was illegal. How can you have a baby box and then it be a crime to conceal the birth of an infant?
Let me go and look and see what that is. What the actual code is on that.
But do you see what I'm saying?
That seems it. I mean, maybe it's like something that's like if it's done in the commission of a crime. Kentucky.
You're not boring, Bilbrey. I'm just tired.
Oh my God, get that out! It's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, what? Why would it be 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
Because we air at 3 o'clock.
Well, and obviously we're recording this an hour before we air, or 2 hours before we air. Dude, where's your movie magic?
I don't have any.
What the hell? What does this say? Criminal code. So, oh man, I get what you're saying. Man, I don't know. I think that. Let's take a look at this. I think. Okay.
And is abortion legal in Kentucky?
Is what?
Abortion legal in Kentucky? Because then we can slide down that whole slope of, she couldn't have an abortion.
Okay, so we don't know. It's been this long. We don't know a bit more information. There's no further information. You've not heard any further information about what's going on here?
I've looked. I've been trying to keep up on it, and they're very, very tight-lipped about it.
Okay, so as of June 24th, 2022, abortion is generally illegal in Kentucky. The state has a trigger law that automatically bans abortion in the event that Roe v. Wade is overturned, which occurred on that date. Exceptions to the ban: medical emergencies, obviously, ectopic pregnancy, fatal fetal abnormality. Abortion is allowed if the fetus has a fatal medical condition. Abortion is allowed if the pregnancy is outside of the uterus, and abortion is allowed if necessary to save the life of the pregnant person. Pregnant mother, the pregnant female. We're gonna get into that.
Mother.
Yeah.
Pregnant mother.
Yeah. Kentucky's concealing the birth of an infant is a Class A misdemeanor under KRS 530.030. This crime involves concealing the corpse of a newborn with the intent to hide the birth or prevent the determination of whether the child was born alive or dead.
Oh.
Specific elements of the crime are concealing the corpse. The person must have hidden the body of a newborn child. Intent to conceal the birth. The action must be done with the purpose of hiding the fact that a birth occurred if the child is dead.
Right.
Okay. Intent to prevent determination of life status. Action must also be done to prevent others from figuring out if the infant was born alive or was stillborn. Conviction for concealing the birth of an infant in Kentucky is a Class A misdemeanor, which can result in a jail sentence of 90 days or greater and less than 1 year. Related information: Safe Infants Act. The law allows parents to safely surrender a newborn less than 30 days old to a staff member of a police station, a fire station, a hospital, or places of worship without fear of prosecution for neglect or abandonment. So I'm okay with that charge, because here's what's going to come down to. I think that these are probably placeholders. What's the other thing she's charged with?
Tampering with evidence, hiding a birth, and
abuse of a corpse. So I'm okay with all of these, and honestly, all of these things are probably minor.
Right. She's not going to do.
So it's not like she's going to do anything crazy. So in Kentucky, abuse of a corpse, KRS is 525.120. It's a Class D felony for intentionally treating a corpse in a way that would outrage ordinary family sensibilities, or for deliberately falsely failing to prepare, bury, or cremate a corpse after entering in a contract to do so. The offense is elevated to so it must have been a misdemeanor at one point, because the offense is elevated to a D felony then if it involves sexual intercourse with a corpse. So watch out.
Oh. Got necrophilia going on.
Yeah. So it seems as if, okay, so it wasn't a misdemeanor, and it's now a D felony. It's just recently been upsized to felony. Okay, and then tampering with physical evidence. Let's see what that is.
I mean, I think if she does community service, they do need to make her work in like a baby ward or around foster, something to make her see, something to hit home.
If I found out that she was around my kid after she hit a kid in a closet, I would kill someone.
Maybe then, like, dead kids working in cemeteries, talking. She needs to do like group therapy where the parents are talking about the loss of their kids. Or
I think we hide her in a towel inside of a garbage bag inside of a closet.
If the baby was already dead, I mean, that's just a panic moment. I feel like that, not good decisions.
What's the bet here? Are you saying you think the baby was born dead?
I don't know.
No, but you got to give me what do you go inside your mind and think? What are you thinking we're going to learn? Putting you on the spot. Then we'll come back and talk about it at a later date.
That's a rough one. I don't think that we'll ever find out.
Oh, no. We'll know.
I think it'll be inconclusive, or it will be very questionable where both sides can argue that, how it's all interpretation of what the findings are. 38 weeks. She went full term. I'm going to say the baby was alive.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. The baby was alive. Baby was alive. I want to hear more. I want to know, what's the deal with the dad? I mean, there's obviously a dad.
That was the debate. So right now, I think currently at the time of when this happened, she was dating a boy who was a college athlete as well. I don't think it wasn't UK. It was a different school.
Okay.
Prior to that, so people were questioning who dad was.
I don't know if people are, but I am.
Well, I mean, to the enough that they did go and get samples from ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
Dad admitted that his son had done a DNA. They'd taken it in to confirm who father was.
And that would be really bad.
Yeah.
And you got to think, because there's grandparents, the parents of her. And look, I don't wish anything bad for her. I hope, I guess what my hope would be is that they come back and they find that she was going through something mental, that this was not something done intentionally. That's what I'll put it to you this way.
I hope the baby was born dead.
Yeah, that would be the thing, and that she had some kind of mental crack up and did this, and this was like a thing. Because if we find out that this was just a party girl, cold-hearted bitch going crazy, doing crazy, then
She
death
deserves to
chamber.
spend a lot
Yeah,
of time
to do it. Yeah, right.
in prison. I agree. I just want to play devil's advocate on, the what ifs, because there are a lot of contributing factors that everybody's just kind of quick to judge. Like when you instantly went to, well, she a party girl. That was your first thought.
I didn't say that.
When at the very thumbs up. You do not have that superpower.
I don't know what that is. That's weird. I don't have it on that computer. I don't have it on that computer.
But I can do it.
It's so strange.
It's not going to do it.
Do it on my screen. Do it over.
How
No,
much?
no. Lift your thumb up and do it over here. No, over. No, on the other side. Yeah.
That doesn't go to you.
No, but it still does. It does on your screen, but okay. That's so weird. Do it right in the middle of your face, like in the middle of the
that
camera.
drives you nuts. That I
do it. No.
It won't. It's like I think it has to wait so long before it'll do it again.
Okay, do it now. What? You can't do it. You gotta like put it up like in like. That's so weird.
You're just doing that to make me look like an idiot, as
Yeah, you're doing it. I'm not doing it. All right, so
you did instantly. The first things when we first started talking about this, you said, "I'm interested to see if she's a party girl."
All right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And I instantly went to, dude, I bet she was under a lot of pressure. Doesn't make it right. You know what I mean? Like, but still, it's just, I mean, a dead kid is a dead kid, and it sucks.
Well, yeah, that's a bad thing. I mean, I get that was my hope in this is, like you said, that it was stillborn, and that she had a crack up and
freaked.
Because I hope she didn't do this on purpose. That's what I'm getting at. That's my whole thing. That would suck. The weird thing is that we're not getting any kind of word on when they think so the police got there on the 27th of August.
But they don't say.
We don't say or know when the baby was born. I'm sure she's had to have told them, but we've not seen that yet.
No, and on an autopsies are usually done immediately. Within the next day.
Yeah.
Very quickly, unless the morgue's booked up.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they should have known an ETA of time of death and like how old, like how long.
It'll be easier for them to know. They'll get closer to the actual time of death, date and time of death, than they would maybe on the. I mean, they'll know within, I would say, a week or two of
but they
when the
should
baby
know
would be
during
born.
the autopsy per the state of decomp.
Yeah, sure.
That, hey,
clearly.
this baby is 2 weeks old at this point,
Yeah.
Or it's been decomposing for 2 weeks. So that's going to tell you, hey, the baby's 2 weeks old, or hey, this is just starting to decomp. So
yeah,
it's been there a day.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't tell you like what made them go there. Did she end up? So that's
I feel like I know.
But did she end up like freaking out and call? You don't know. Did she freak out and call 911?
Well, in every other case like this that I've ever witnessed, it's been the smell, obviously.
Right. But I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. There's so many questions.
What?
There's so many questions.
I think.
So many things it could be.
I'm not going to.
So many.
Well, then the other thing is, when's the last time she performed? And from everything that I saw, what I found was the last time she performed for the stunt team was April of 2025. If that's the case, well, okay, April, that would make sense, because then school would get out in May, and they'd be out for the summer, June, July, and they'd go back into school in August. So I'm like, what? Why would she have last performed in April? But for the summer break, that would make sense. So that's not as crazy. Now, like literally, I just thought that as I said it. I'm like, why would she have last performed in April.
How did she? Okay, so that I hadn't thought about that. How did she go home to her mother and father who know her better than anyone and
She
them
did.
not pick up?
Maybe she didn't, because she's a senior,
She could have had an apartment and stayed.
maybe she has a job there, so she's working. Maybe she didn't go home. But who's saying that they didn't know? Maybe they did know. I guess because you said you've seen pictures of her and you could tell she was pregnant.
And it definitely looked like she was pregnant. Because
Let's just
cheerleaders
find out.
if you are a cheerleader, you are in tip-top shape. And if you are a college competitive cheerleader, you're all muscle. And usually you're a tiny little girl. I mean, most cheerleaders are pretty petite people. And so when you're short like me, I'm going to say she was probably short. There's no room for a baby to go, so it goes out.
I'm going to put these up. I'm with the disclaimer that I don't know if these are true or not. This could be AI. One of them could be AI. I don't know if this is true. I'm going to put this picture up, and then I'll let you guys determine on if you think that this is something or not something, or if this is AI. To me, it just looks like it's kind of blurred out, but it kind of looks like too perfect, like aha. So I don't know, but this is the first one. So this one I don't know. I don't trust 100%. So here's this. This is a picture of her. I mean, if this is a true picture, she definitely knew she's pregnant. There was no confusion. And like you said, and like other people have said, she's a small girl. She was fit, being that cheerleader. If her body's changing, she knows something's going on. So she could have been dealing with pre or postpartum depression, something like that. But if this is a real picture, she knew she was pregnant. There's just no question. So that's that. Now these other pictures that I'm going to put up, these are real pictures because they are on her actual social media, on her Instagram, that is still up. Blows me away.
Yeah, I can't believe that she has not taken her social media down. Can't believe it.
It's absolutely wild to me that it's still up. So hold on. Sound's not being. So I'm gonna put this up. We'll see. I don't know what we're saying here or not. So here's this. Here's a picture. Now to me, this looks like a maternity picture, possibly, but it's weird because apparently they're saying this is new boyfriend. This is a boyfriend that she's only with for a couple of months. So I don't know what the deal is here. Here she is. You can't really tell what's going on here. I don't know, man. I don't know what I think about this.
And also, when were those taken? You know, how far?
Looks like it was taken in June. So what are your thoughts about that?
She doesn't look very pregnant if she delivered 2 months late. What was it, August 20 something? The end of August.
August 27th.
And that was June what?
18th. July.
August.
Man.
She doesn't look very big there if she's 7 months pregnant.
And then the comments down below, someone's saying, this is crazy. She still has her social media up, which blows me away. And I'm telling you, the people on here do not believe her 100%. They are just not believing her. They are. Oh, and people are looking. She titled it with 3 hearts.
Oh, okay.
Get it?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I mean, you could get looking into the thing real crazy and being like, oh, look, she, because she hashtagged it, not like babies or whatever. She hashtagged it with couples photography, couple photo shoot. So that's really interesting. Here's her social media. Let's see. This was 6/25. And I don't know.
She's little. Was that her most recent?
It looks like it. It looks like that's her most recent. But all right, we got three hearts up here, so maybe that's just something she always does.
Mm-hmm.
She's pregnant here. I see her bump, they say. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Uniform citation.
Officers were dispatched to the listed suspect's address regarding a deceased infant being located inside of a closet. Infant was located wrapped up in a towel inside a black trash bag. Offender was Mirandized and interviewed and admitted to giving birth. Furthermore, the listed suspect admitted to concealing the birth by cleaning any evidence, placing all cleaning items used inside of a black trash bag, including the infant who was wrapped up in a towel. In the process of cleaning the evidence of the birth, the listed suspect tampered with said evidence that proved she had given birth by wrapping the infant in a towel and placing it inside a black trash bag. The listed suspect treated the corpse in a way that it would outrage ordinary family sensibilities.
So
8/28/25 at 10:33 a.m.
Yeah, so initial report doesn't say that she said that it was alive or that she did harm to it.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Ah, that's interesting, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Well,
we'll have to follow that.
There we go. Yeah, we'll definitely follow that, see what we've got going on there, and we will keep everybody aware of what's happening in that case. So, all right, that then brings us to the second thing, and now this is definitely that's a trigger warning. What we were talking about there, that was a serious deal. This second thing is definitely a trigger warning. And I just want to tell everyone ahead of time that here in a little bit we're going to show a video, and people might say, "Well, why do you show the video?" And I'm going to talk about this because the other day I on my other show I played the video of the Charlie Kirk incident, and I am a believer. I said this on the show the other day that when John Kennedy was shot in Dallas on Friday, November 22nd, 1963, a couple different people, Secret Service and aides to the Kennedys, tried to get Jackie to change her clothes multiple times, and she would not do it. And when they swore in Johnson on the plane as they were getting ready to leave, before they went up there to take the pictures and do that, they all tried to get Jackie to change her clothes. And she said, "No, I want them to see what they did to him." And so I understand that these things can be graphic. I understand people have a hard time. That's the reason I'm letting everybody know there's a little bit of a trigger warning. I will not play it until I tell you, so you can have some time to look away or whatever. But we are going to play the video of this next situation, which is the stabbing of the Ukraine student on the North Carolina train. We're going to play this. We're going to talk about it. But this is just a very, very horrible situation. This actually happened on September 3rd, I believe.
Yeah, it all happened. Like everything happened, right? All of
right.
that.
Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, right. Basically at the same time. Very, very crazy. Yeah.
So what she fled Ukraine in 2022, right?
Mm-hmm.
So has not been here long.
Yeah, it had not been here long.
Was a refugee, comes over, brother, mom, her, I believe. Am I right? Dad was not here.
Yeah.
She is in college, into art, seems to like be very happy to be here in America, is minding her own bit of business, gets on the train, subway, whatever it is, and on the subway, minding her own business. I think she even had earphones on, didn't she?
I think.
Just doing what you do.
Well, that's the thing. I always say they teach you as a police officer, keep your head on a swivel, sit with your back against the wall, looking at everything. It's very, very difficult to do. You got to train yourself to do it. But yeah, she sat down, never thinking. I mean, I don't even think she ever saw that guy.
No, she was the prime example of minding her own business.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Her name is Irina Zarutska. Irina Zarutska was just another passenger when she boarded the late-night Blue Line train after it pulled into Skylark Park Station, just a few miles outside downtown Charlotte, North Carolina. She wore khaki pants and a dark shirt. Her long blonde hair had been tucked up under her hat from Zeppedy's Pizzeria, where she worked. Like nearby passengers, the 23-year-old bowed her head as the train continued on, absorbed by the phone in her hand. Zarutska, a refugee from Ukraine, had picked an empty row and sat in front of a man in a red sweatshirt, unaware of the two's imminent collision course. This is heartbreaking. Trying to help.
Heartbreaking is hearing you read this.
What?
I said heartbreaking is having to listen to you read
Yeah,
this.
right. In the days after the release of the video of the attack, the stabbing, and Brown's lengthy criminal history, including convictions for armed robbery, larceny, and breaking and entering, have been decried by the Trump administration and conservative politicians. I hate that they've got to throw that in. Yeah, everybody's going to bitch about this. This should be bitched about, and it shouldn't be a Republican-Democrat thing. That's insane to me. Everybody should have a problem with this. And if you don't have a problem with this, and you don't have a problem with the fact that this man was still on the street, you're the problem. I just want to put that out there. This is not a Republican-Democrat thing. This is a common sense. Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles and Brown's family have both said the killing is in part due to failures of court system that allowed Brown to re-enter the community despite a record of mental illness, convictions for armed robbery, felony larceny, and breaking and entering. Ultimately, the paths of the two people fatally converged. A woman who escaped violence only face-to-face in her home country of Ukraine, only to face it in the U.S., and a man whose family members believe that he was failed by both the criminal justice system and the healthcare. Zarutska embraced U.S. life. Zarutska had a gift. Her mother called it an artistic gift. It wasn't her ability to sculpt or design clothes, though she loved to do that. Zarutska, who also had a degree in art and restoration from Synergy College in Kiev, often bestowed her art on family members and friends. Her artistic gift was what her mother affectionately called her ability to sleep for wonderfully long stretches. Dude, I also have this gift.
Me too. I am truly gifted.
Holy crap. A family friend told the news affiliate that Zaruska endured daily bombings in Ukraine, and the agony of not knowing if you're going to live or breathe another day really affected her. She fled with her mother and sister and brother and found a home in North Carolina, embraced life in Charlotte. She attended Rowan Cabras Community College and dreamed of becoming a veterinary assistant. I knew he was battling. Days before the stabbing, Brown showed up at his mother's house. Michelle DeWitt said her son, who was homeless and living at a local shelter, asked to stay the night. Later that morning, Brown's mother dropped him off at a shelter a few miles away from the station. She hugged him and told her son she loved him and said before heading to church. So did she not let him stay the night? She's like, no, I'm going to drop you off at the house.
I don't know.
That's strange. When she found out about the stabbing and his arrest, DeWitt couldn't believe it was her son because I'm sure he was a wonderful guy. DeCarlos Brown had spent more than 5 years in prison for robbery with a dangerous weapon. When he got out in 2020, his sister said she felt she was dealing with a different person. He didn't seem like himself, Tracy Brown said. Her brother struggled to have simple conversations and couldn't hold down a job. He would sometimes become aggressive. DeCarlos attacked his sister in 2022, she told CNN. He bit her and broke the hinges off her door. But the sister said she decided to drop the charges out of concern for his mental health issues. So did the criminal justice system fail, or did the family fail him?
I think if you look it up, he's been arrested like 14 times.
Okay.
And because when you look at the picture, it shows all of his mugshots in front of this girl. So, and then another big thing that are pissing people off is that in North Carolina, they have magistrates. I can't pronounce
magistrates.
Magistrates. And so you don't have to have a law degree. You don't have to be anything to be a magistrate.
Right.
And so that was who kept releasing him. So, to me, you don't have to be a judge to know that somebody is a danger to society. And if it's a mental thing, why? I mean, this bothers me because while this was a random one, and we can talk about it later, I had a cousin who was killed by her. She was leaving him in front of their child. It was in Kentucky. And there was every sign in the world they kept letting this guy out. I mean, he would offend and they let him out. He would offend and they would let him out. So, I mean, it happens all the time. No one is held. They're violent. They do things. They're getting arrested 14 times and ta-da, here you go. Take it out. Now go kill somebody.
Heartbreaking, man. It's crazy.
It is.